Hey everybody, my name is Myers, Corp Cosplay. Today we're going to talk about cosplaying when you're over 30. Hey everyone, my name is Myers, Corp Cosplay. I've been a cosplayer in the Southern Ontario area for about 10 years. I've won a couple awards, I go to cons, I've been going to cons for 15 years, and I've been a cosplayer for about 10, and I'm 37 right now. I kind of started in my late 20s, was when I really found out what cosplay was, and I want to say that I really got into it when I was around 32. So I've really been cosplaying the most in my 30s, and I kind of want to go over what it's like, because I think a lot of people, when they hit their their mid 20s or even their early 20s, they feel like they have to have their whole world set up and ready to go for the next entire lifetime. But you can change and you can grow and you can become a completely different person. So I'm going to talk to you about what it's like cosplaying in your 30s, and the different things you should probably think about. So first, the biggest thing that is going to be different than if you started cosplaying in your teens or in your 20s, is when you get 30, you probably have a lot of things going on in your life. You may have, a partner, you probably have a job by this point, you may have a family at this point. So the time management is extremely important when you're doing cosplay or almost any hobby, because you don't want to neglect things just to enjoy the hobby. Now, you may become a big fan of the hobby, this may become your new passion project, but there's other things in life that do matter more in the end, so you have to make sure to break those down. I can totally admit, when I really started cosplaying, when I really got into it, I wanted to spend every waking minute up here. I wanted to spend all my time in this cosplay room, and I realized I wasn't spending as much time with my wife as I should. For a really good example would be Fan Expo Canada ended, it happens at the end of August, and I would go into September and I would be like, okay, we're ready for the next year. We got 365 days to get ready for the next Fan Expo. And I would jump in feet first, have my cosplay ideas, and start building. Well, the problem is my wife's birthday is mid-September, so I would get full blast into this, and then I'd realize, oh man, my wife's birthday's in like 3 days. I haven't planned or bought anything, and I felt really bad. So really, time management is super important. Realizing that, you may see cosplayers out there that are spending hours and hours and hours and putting all this content online, and you're going, man, I just don't have the time to put that much into it. And you're probably right, but there's a reason for that. You have other obligations that, again, in the end, are way more important than cosplay. Cosplay should just be a really fun hobby, and you can dedicate as much time as you can into it, but don't let things like family and other things in your life, like jobs, interfere with cosplay, because it will totally ruin the experience if you can't really enjoy cosplay as much as you should. Another thing with cosplay that would be really cool, if you have a partner and you have family and you don't want to spend all the time in the cosplay room building, is trying to involve your family. If you show them how much of a passion you have for this, they may actually want to be involved. They may want to cosplay with you. You may be able to do a fun family cosplay. I know this because when I first met my wife, she was cosplaying. I was cosplaying, but I wasn't this. I was really getting my feet wet in cosplay, but I didn't dive in the deep end. My wife was winning awards when I first started dating her, and she kind of, after a few years of being with her, she had done it for many years before I met her, so she had kind of toned down by that point, and I was hitting my stride of wanting to get more into it. But even now, there are things that she wants to cosplay every now and then, and I love having to build things for her. I love, I've designed masks for her. I designed her Hellboy fist for one of her first cosplays that she won an award for. So having those opportunities to involve her and being able to involve and spend time with her while doing my cosplay is a big thing. And it really means a lot when we get to do that. Now, as I've said in other videos, I do love doing this on my own, but having those times to get to spend time with her and enjoying the fandoms and enjoying cosplay is great. So if you can get an opportunity to do that, whether it's your kids, whether it's your partner, it's really cool if you can do it. Another thing that I have to stress, and this is something you're going to notice when you hit your 30s, is you probably should do a stretch before you go out on the con floor if you're cosplaying at a convention. This is something I realized probably around 32, 33. I was volunteering at a convention in Niagara Falls, and I wasn't cosplaying, but I was just working my volunteer role with the celebrities. And after the first day, we went back to the hotel, staying with a few other people, and I woke up the next morning and my back was stiff, my knees were stiff, my ankles were stiff. I was just sore. So thankfully, I have a yoga program that I kind of work on every now and then when I need it. And I did a little bit of it in the morning and it helps so much. So I really think even if you're not in your 30s, doing a little bit of a stretch in the morning is a great idea. Just a little bit of a back stretch, some shoulder stretches, some leg stretches, some hip stretches, some neck stretches. Because even if whether you're in a giant Warhammer costume or you're in a princess dress or you're in a Zentai suit, you are going to be on the floor walking around on concrete and not the greatest shoes, most cosplays, and it's gonna hurt after a while. So if you can prep your body for that by stretching it, get it loosened, get some oil for that Tin Man, it will help you a lot. So, like I said, just work on the main things that are going to be, the normal pain points that some older cosplayers may know about. So, shoulders, neck, hips, knees, legs, back. Just do some general stretches. You can YouTube. There's tons of different videos on there that'll show you different stretches you can do. I've actually thought of maybe if I became a cosplay guest at a major con, maybe doing a big stretching routine with a bunch of cosplayers early, first thing in the morning, because I think we can all appreciate a good stretch to enjoy the rest of the convention. And the last tip for cosplaying in your 30s and above is social media. Now, social media is changing on a daily basis, and even at 37, I thankfully have a job that has me keep up on these things, so I'm pretty fluent in it and understand what's going on. But on a daily basis, there's a lot of people who are just confused by the way social media is growing with the TikToks and the Instagrams and the Snapchats and all these things. Try your best to keep up on these things, and not just for showcasing your cosplay, which is great if you want to showcase your cosplay on any of the social media platforms, but also being inspired by it. Like, you can go on Facebook and you can search for cosplay groups. If there's a fandom you like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC Universe or Star Wars, you can type in Star Wars cosplay in the group section of Facebook and you can find other like-minded people like yourself, and they might be able to help you with their cosplay. Even going on Instagram and typing in Star Wars cosplay, you'll see a whole bunch of people posting photos and videos of them in their Star Wars cosplay. And you might be able to DM them and find out what inspired them to do it. And you might make some lifelong friends just from doing little things like that. So you don't have to be the most knowledgeable person on social media, but having a basic understanding of what you can do on social media on the different platforms is a great thing to have. You can find tutorials on YouTube. Like if you're trying to figure out how to build a prop, there may be a tutorial on here on YouTube that may help you and save you so much aggravation and so much time. So just figure out a way that you could take maybe an hour a week and just do some research just to get a general understanding of what cosplayers can use different social media platforms to help build their skill level, their inspiration, and maybe even their presence online by posting their own. So that's it. That's a couple tips for anybody cosplaying over 30. Like I said, I'm 37 right now. Within no time, I will be in my 40s. And I gotta admit, I don't feel 37. I barely feel 27. I still feel like I'm 22. I still feel like I'm in my mid 20s. You really don't feel. I feel it in my back. I feel it in my back. But other than that, once you hit 30, it doesn't mean you should have to sit down and not enjoy yourself. If you love cosplay, it doesn't matter what age you are. Just enjoy creating, building, buying, and just representing the characters and the fandoms you love. It's the whole point of the thing, and it shouldn't depend on your age of how much you love it. If you like this video, click the subscribe button, click the like button. We're going to do a whole bunch more of these cosplay videos coming up. My name is Corp Cosplay, and I can't wait to see what you're going to cosplay next.